Welcome to episode 4 of the Simply CMT podcast, presented by the Charcot-Marie-Tooth Association. I'm Chris Cosentino, and today we're joined by CMTA's Director of Community Outreach, Laurel Richardson. Welcome, Laurel.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Now, as Director of Community Outreach at CMTA, you oversee Centers of Excellence, branches, the Summit, youth programs, camp footprint, so much more. But before we dive into all that, let's discuss your personal connection to CMT and how it has impacted your life.
Great question. Thank you for asking. So I actually found out, I think I'm third generation CMT, found out when I was 6 years old, even though I wasn't terribly symptomatic. I couldn't walk on my heels as well as the pediatrician would have liked. So I found out at an early age that I had CMT, but it was just something that was sort of over there, like on the side of my life, out of my mind. And we were just a really active family, and it was important to my parents that, we all stayed active and exercised. And so it didn't play too large of a role when I was younger. I would say in my 20s, I started becoming symptomatic, and then significantly more symptomatic in my 30s. But I am a glass half full person, so I have always just plowed forward with the best attitude that I can possibly muster up as I have experienced disease progression. In my 30s, that's when I really started experiencing drop foot and stubbornly thought that I could make that better myself and would exercise my way out of having drop foot. And so I realized by the age of 41 that strategy was not going to work with CMT. So I realized people could either stare at the way that I'm walking without braces, or they could stare at my braces and I could get on with my life and do the things that I wanted to do. So at the age of 41, I put on my first pair of AFOs and experienced a significant improvement in my quality of life the minute I started wearing braces. I could come off the sidelines of life and get back in the game, which is what I really wanted. I'm not a sidelines gal. I felt myself shying away from social events or physical activities. I had young kids and I wanted to be playing basketball with them and going on hikes. And so putting AFOs on really allowed me to get back into life, and I'll be forever thankful that I tried them. Wish that I had tried them a little bit sooner, but what I have found in the CMT community is we are very stubborn people. It probably eventually serves us well, but a little bit on the stubborn side.
As we mentioned earlier, you and your team are responsible for providing support programs and resources all year round for the CMT community. As someone living with CMT, what has this role meant to you personally?
Honestly, Chris, I think it means so much more than I could ever have anticipated when I was interviewing for the role and asked to join the team. It initially felt like a job. Oh, it's a job, but I know about CMT and I can do this job. I have the skills to do this job, but I had no idea how it would impact me personally to see how many people we help every day. And that is everybody on the team. That is a CMTA team contribution, to include all of our volunteers who are boots on the ground in a variety of cities across the country, and really in Mexico and Canada and overseas, helping people. And it's truly been unbelievable to me. I thought that I knew what the CMTA did as a volunteer and community member, but I didn't truly understand the enormous impact of our mission and this organization until I joined the staff and started working in this world and supporting this mission. And it's been incredible to see just even changing one or two people's lives. And by that, I mean getting them the resources we need. It's not that we, the staff members, are so spectacular, which, we're kind of awesome, but it is getting the patient community what they need every day, getting their questions answered so they don't have to live in this incredibly frustrating place with their CMT, but they can get to the doctors they need, to the education meetings they need, to the support groups that they need, to the type of braces that will make their life better, the surgical options. So it has really blown my mind, the depth and breadth of what we do here at the CMTA, and it's been pure joy to be able to contribute to helping the community get the answers that they need to improve their quality of life. And I won't even mention the research. Okay, unless you want me to. The research is unbelievable. And I'm a hope for tomorrow person. Like, sign me up. I'm all about the hope, and I believe in the research, and it's incredibly exciting. I now understand why it's a long process, and I support that process, and I just know in the coming years that there's going to be incredibly exciting news to share in the research front with this year we should have 4 clinical trials for CMT, and we could not say that a few years ago. So it's an incredibly exciting time to be part of this amazing organization.
Absolutely. And one of the incredible programs that you oversee is CMTA's Centers of Excellence program. Can you share with listeners what a CMTA Center of Excellence is, and how can community members get access?
Wonderful question. This is one of the most important resources we have to share at the CMTA are the CMTA Centers of Excellence. And I am going to explain it as simply as I can. We want the community members to know where the neuromuscular experts are around the world, because the neuromuscular neurologists are the healthcare professionals who can help people with CMT. And so we as an organization have been working to identify who those neuromuscular specialists are. Where it gets a little bit confusing is we have, almost now 65 centers of excellence. There are 2 kinds of centers of excellence. They're all considered CMTA centers of excellence, but 24 of those CMTA centers of excellence are INC associated centers of excellence. So they're part of the Inherited Neuropathy Consortium. The INC is the group of clinicians who do research for CMT. And then the non-INC centers of excellence are all neuromuscular specialists who know CMT very well. They see a large number of CMT patients. They run a multidisciplinary clinic, meaning they have PTs, OTs, genetic counselors, orthopedic surgeons to whom they can refer, in some places even more, like nutrition, social worker, psychologist, orthotist on their team. So they have the ability to refer or in clinic have you see these other specialists. They're just not part of the INC, the research consortium. So it is our number one goal with this program to get community members in front of, or at least to aware of, the doctors who specialize in CMT. And that is the whole goal of the Center of Excellence program, is to get in front of the right doctor. Because so the number 2 complaint from the community is that my doctor doesn't know what CMT is. My healthcare professionals don't know CMT, or they don't understand it, and they're not helping me. And that is because that is not the right clinician to care for you when it comes to your CMT issues. So we really want to make sure the CMT community is aware of the Center of Excellence program and can get to those neuromuscular specialists. So to answer the other part of your question, they can find out if there is a Center of Excellence near them by going to the website and going to our Center of Excellence listings page and scrolling all the way down to the bottom to see the list of all the cities and places where you can find a Center of Excellence. And then each Center of Excellence is run on their own by that clinical director. The CMTA does not run the Centers of Excellence. Our job is to identify those neuromuscular specialists that meet the criteria to receive the Center of Excellence distinction, but the CMTA does not run the Centers of Excellence. So the patient and the community member would need to call the Center of Excellence, find out if they take their insurance, if they need a referral, don't need a referral, if they can get in, how long does it get in to be seen? Sometimes it does take a while to get into a Center of Excellence. So they would reach out and gather that information themselves directly with the Center of Excellence CMT clinic. And if there is not one in your area, if you're not able to travel, you can reach out to the CMTA and we will try to help find a specialist in your area. You can Google neuromuscular specialists in your area. The goal here, the number one goal, if you cannot get to a CMTA Center of Excellence, is to find a neuromuscular neurologist. So ask your primary care physician, who are the neuromuscular neurologists in my area?
Excellent. CMTA supports more than 70 volunteer-led branches across North America. Discuss the responsibilities of a CMTA branch and how folks can start a branch if there's not one in their community.
Ooh, good question. Gosh, we love the branches. This is a passionate group of incredible volunteers who have raised their hand to say, I want to be a branch leader. And what that means is you're leading a support group in your area for people with CMT. So you organize meetings, you pick the date, time, location, the meeting topic, if there's going to be a guest speaker, and the CMTA helps you every single step of the way. We have a beautiful blueprint in place for branch leader training, onboarding, support. There's a branch leader toolbox. Riley Williams, who is our community outreach coordinator, helps you every single step of the way as a branch leader. It is her job to support the branch leaders day to day, and she does a phenomenal job. So you're never out here floating around as a volunteer branch leader trying to figure out what to do. We have already built all of that for you, and we're just cheering you on and supporting and providing resources to you every step of the way. So if there's not a branch, and this is such a special way for the community to connect. It's one thing to go to a national CMT event or jump on a webinar for an education meeting, but to walk into your local library and look around the room and meet a group of people with CMT and get to talk to them about their experience and their frustrations and their daily burdens, or who they see locally as an orthotist or physical therapy, who their doctors are. That is incredibly valuable information for someone living with CMT. So that connection and camaraderie cannot be duplicated. It's just a really, really special program. We're very excited to be able to offer that. It's something that we can say when people call in or send an email and they're feeling lost. We can send them to a branch, and all of a sudden they have other people around them who get it. So it's an amazing program, and we could not do it without our volunteers. It's absolutely remarkable that there's this enormous group of volunteers who have raised their hand to lead this program. It's really special. So if there's not a branch in your area, you are going to want to reach out to the CMTA. You can write into info@cmtausa.org and say, I would love to hear more about starting a branch in my area. And Riley Williams, or I will reach out to you to chat with you about what it means to be a branch leader and what it looks like to start, what's involved. And we have a lot of people reaching out right now, and it's really exciting because this is the goal. This is what it means to be a patient advocacy organization. It means showing up for the people in your area, showing up on the broader level, of course, helping to improve quality of life for people all over the world, but also showing up at the grassroots level. And so it's wonderful. It's really neat. And again, we couldn't do it without our amazing volunteers.
We'll be right back.
Are you looking for assistive devices and gadgets to help with day-to-day life with Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease? CMTA has started a brand new gadget store on Amazon that may help improve daily activity for people with Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease. Find assistive gadgets, life hacks, and more at cmtausa.org/gadgets. And now, back to the show.
CMTA's youth program continues to grow, and we're getting ready for the 10th anniversary of Camp Footprint. What value does the youth program and Camp Footprint bring to youth impacted by CMT?
Thank you, Chris. Excellent question. It is almost beyond measure to say how large the impact has been of Camp Footprint and the youth programs. I think as the entire CMTA community knows, Jonah Berger has done a phenomenal job building our camp program, leading our camp program. He meets the kids where they are. We have this enormous team of volunteer counselors who give up a week of their lives and jobs to come be part of Camp Footprint. That is how special this program is. I think that when you can meet kids where they are in their life and where they are early in their CMT journey and show them that this is okay and they're going to be okay and this is what it looks like to live and thrive with CMT, that is invaluable. And it not to mention how much fun it is. So Camp Footprint is summer camp. We just all happen to have CMT. All the kids just happen to have CMT. So they get to be part of something so special and enjoy summer camp activities, but they get to look around and do it with a group of people who understand every single day what it looks like and feels like to live with CMT. So while we can metrically say, okay, we know this many kids have come to camp and we have served this many youth and youth families in the youth program, I don't think we can truly measure what that has meant for children in their lives, how those programs have built tremendous confidence and comfortability in their disease and disability and having CMT. So being able to say at an early age and show them at an early age, you're going to be okay, and this is what it looks like to live with CMT is phenomenal. And it is just such a beautiful program. It is led by Jonah Berger so beautifully, and he meets the kids where they are and he shows them how, not that it's even just okay, Jonah lives so beautifully with CMT, so I think he really makes it okay for everybody around him, and he's leading by example, and I think we're all doing that at camp. Jonah and Gina as king and queen of camp, and all the silliness and fun, just showing everyone how to live well with CMT is invaluable. And that's what the camp program does. And it doesn't mean we're ignoring our CMT or we're not acknowledging it. We just get to do it with others who understand. And that makes everything feel better. So then these kids have a week of that type of connection. It builds wonderful confidence. And then they get to go back out into their everyday lives and worlds with their heads held high and a new sense of confidence and independence that maybe they otherwise would not have had. So I think we're just growing these beautiful community members who are one day going to lead the world and lead the CMTA.
Yeah, and another incredible program that has really taken off is CMTA's Compass Young Adult Program. For those that are at least 19 years old living with CMT, what has this program meant to the community, especially those that are in that age group?
I think Compass is a beautiful extension of what has grown out of youth programs, right? So kudos to these young adults who said, hey, I'm aging out of the youth program. Where do I go now? And, you know, we have amazing teammates, again, Jonah Berger, Aaron Weierbach, who said, absolutely, let's build a young adults program. And that's what a patient advocacy group should do. That is why we are here. You tell us how you need to be supported in your CMT journey, and we're going to help build that. So the young adults spoke up and said, we want to continue getting together as a young adult group. How should we do that? What should we look like? What should that look like? And Jonah Berger really helped to build that program and runs it operationally day to day with the help of Aaron Weierbach and with the help of the Compass leadership team. These are the young adults who said, we really want to be involved. We really want to develop this program. How do we do that? How can we do that? And as we have always been, we are a volunteer-led organization, and we couldn't have Compass without the amazing young adults who want to be involved and to help lead that. So it's grown into this truly awesome and evolving program. And the young adults are really helping us to shape it. They have taken leadership roles and they're doing outreach to find more young adults. They connect virtually once a month on Zoom, but they're also planning these regional meetups around the country so that if you want to get together in person and have an opportunity to connect with other young adults, you can do that. And again, it's that continuation of that theme of connection. How can we get to be around other people who understand the daily challenges and burdens and frustrations of living with CMT? And now they get to do that as young adults. What's it like to date with CMT? How has your job search been? When do you tell your company that you're living with CMT? How do you ask for accommodations? Those are those invaluable discussions that are happening at the young adult level as they are becoming young professionals, college students, grad students. And so to have that time with each other is remarkable.
On September 5th through the 7th, CMTA will be hosting the 2025 Patient and Research Summit in Indianapolis. Talk about the in-person experience and what can attendees look forward to this year?
The in-person experience at the summit is priceless. What we have seen post-COVID is an enormous amount of energy and connection resources coming out of the summit. So if you have never been to a CMTA Patient and Research Summit, I invite you to join us. I think it will really blow your mind how incredible it is to be around all your fellow CMT community members, the scientists, the clinicians, the vendors who bring these amazing resources to the summit. It is a really, really special weekend. It used to be a one-day event, and it has evolved into a weekend-long education and community connection event. So many community members arrive on Friday. We have an early bird check-in, and we are going to have a CMTA meet and greet happy hour this year. Then on Saturday, we have the Managing CMT focus sessions with CMT experts sharing information. You'll get to meet the Indianapolis Center of Excellence clinician team, which is very exciting. And then something we're introducing this year, Chris, which is I'm so excited about, is after all the sessions on Saturday end, at 3:15, we will have what we are calling small group table talks. And so you can continue connecting with others and with experts on a few different topics in a small group setting, which will be wonderful. And on Saturday night, Gina Sweeney is planning a wonderful Saturday dinner reception for the summit attendees, which will be wonderful. Sunday is the research focus, the STAR CMTA research focused updates. So Sunday morning until 12:30, it's all about research, but patient focused research information. So what does it mean as a patient to be involved in research? What are those research opportunities for me as a patient currently in the research landscape? How can I raise my hand to get involved? So it's going to be incredibly exciting. We also have a full exhibit hall this year where all the vendors will be with plenty of room and space to meet them, try on braces, learn about exercising with CMT. We have a variety of vendors coming, and we couldn't do any of this without our amazing sponsors. So it's a really special weekend. I think everyone's favorite part, honestly, is having time to talk with each other. So chatting at the tables in between sessions, having breakfast and lunch and dinner together, learning about other people's journey with CMT. It's that time together that is so special and keeps bringing people back to the summit every year.
And to learn more about the 2025 CMTA Patient and Research Summit, you can visit summit.cmtausa.org and register today.
Yes, and on that summit site, Chris, you will learn and be able to register for the youth outing led by Jonah Berger and some wonderful volunteers. There's a youth outing in Indianapolis that will run on Saturday from about 9 until the afternoon. They are having, I can't say what it is yet, but they're planning a really, really special day in Indianapolis. And then there is also a Compass happy hour at the end of the day on Saturday where the Compass young adults can come together and have time, a couple hours meeting together, getting to know each other, and then everyone can join us for dinner at the Saturday night reception. So there is something for everyone at the CMTA Patient and Research Summit. So please join us in Indianapolis this year. We can't wait to see you.
Definitely looking forward to it. And Laurel, that's a wrap on episode 4. Thank you so much for joining us on the Simply CMT podcast presented by the Charcot-Marie-Tooth Association. And we appreciate all that you do for the CMT community.
Thanks for having me, Chris. It was really fun.